Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Alec from Blackhouse Vapor Company, and today I'm going to show you how to re-wick your RDA. Now, obviously, re-wicking is going to change or going to differ from one device to another. So whether you're using an RTA or you're using an RDA or you're using some mix of the two, whatever device that you are using, you do need to know how to wick your coils properly regardless. So what I'm trying to do today is show you how to wick your coils regardless of what device it's on. I'm using a pretty sugary juice, so it's about time for me to change my wicks out, and so it's quite convenient for me to do it at this time. I'll show you how I specifically do it for the Cosmonaut, but I'll try to tell you when things are going to be different from one device to another as I'm doing it. So I'll show you how I wick my coils on this Cosmonaut, but the way that you wick the coil, the way that you insert the wick, the way that you make sure that the wick is the correct density on both sides, that's not going to change regardless of what device you're using. The only thing that's going to change is going to be the way that you tuck the wicks, how long you cut your wicks, whether it's going to be tucked into a tank or whether it's going to be tucked into a deck, or like the Cosmonaut, whether you don't really have much of a deck to work with. And so I'm going to show you a specific method that I have for the Cosmonaut where the wicks stay fluffy and they absorb the most amount of juice that they possibly can. Other than the tucking and the length of the cotton, the way that you wick it into the coil is going to stay the same regardless of what device you're using. So let's drop it down. Let's take a look at what I've got, the required items, I suppose you would say, for wicking your coils, and I'll teach you a little bit of how to do it. It shouldn't take too long at all. Okay, so we're here in our close-up view. Here are the things that you are going to need. Cotton. This time around I have chosen Japanese pads for my cotton, but really, for me personally, I don't have much of a preference when it comes to what type of cotton I use, whether that be Japanese, whether that be cotton bacon, whatever it might be. I don't have too much of a preference when it comes to cotton. I would say just use whatever is easily available to you, readily available to you. You're going to need some scissors. I am using some Scotch titanium scissors. I don't know why you need to know what type of scissors I'm using. And then for me personally, I like to have a little pair of tweezers of some sort. These ones right here come in our coil building kits that we sell, and so you can use these to pack your cotton into whatever crevices you need to pack it into. Okay, that's everything you're gonna need. Not too much. Not too much. So I'm going to show you what I've got going on right now. Obviously this cotton is a couple days old, and I'm going to take this cotton out and replace it. Now on the Cosmonaut specifically, if I take this cap off, what you'll notice is that this particular RDA doesn't really have a deck at all. It just has posts that protrude out of the base, and then the deck is kind of actually created when you put the top cap on. It does create a juice well, and you can just drip down the center, but as it stands, whether or not you call this a well or not, if you were to try to just drip right now, you would have juice go everywhere. So there's no well on this whatsoever, and that makes it easy for me to show you how to wick these coils. But obviously it's going to be different if you have a well, not in the way that you pack the cotton into the coils, but the way that you're going to pack the cotton into the well is going to change on different devices. And another thing I've learned, especially when you're re-wicking, maybe not when you're wicking to begin with, but if you're re-wicking like I am right now, where I'm taking an old set of coils that has cotton in it already, I'm taking that cotton out and I'm putting new cotton in, I really appreciate having paper towels handy. And now we just have coils. Now, for dealing with the gunkiness on the coils, this is something that you want to obviously do cautiously, and I turn my wattage down. Right now I'm running a 0.26 build, and I was running at 70 watts. I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to heat these coils up at 35 watts. So here's 35 watts. And you can see the coils are dry, and I'm just going to fire them And you can see they may be slightly uneven right now. That's okay. That's something that we can also deal with while we're re-wicking. Re-wicking, in my opinion, is a time to kind of handle all of the issues you're having with your device, if you're having any. One more thing that might come in handy that I did not cover at the beginning of this video, I just ran and grabbed them, is a pair of ceramic tweezers. I'll put these over here. A pair of ceramic tweezers can definitely come in handy. Obviously, the tips are made out of ceramic, and this allows you to mess with your coils while you're firing them. Because ceramic is not conductive, you won't have any issues with sparking, you won't have any issues with heating too much or anything like that. So we are going to just fire these coils up, see which one is coming on first. This one seems to be coming on first. I'm going to give it a little pinch. Now I'm going to give this one a little pinch. And you can see that we're getting our coils to fire evenly now. So my coils are now clean. Obviously that wasn't too difficult. It just takes a minute or so to dry fire your coils, which will clean your coils off, and then you're ready to put your new cotton in. Now, on these sheets of cotton, obviously it's got an exterior layer. Some people will tell you to peel this exterior layer off. Some people will tell you to leave it on. I personally say it doesn't matter too much either way. If you notice with your particular pad of cotton that you're having flavor issues while leaving the exterior part of the cotton on, then try to take it off. If you're still having flavor issues, then it's something else. How much you're going to need is going to be determined by the size of the coils, by the diameter of the coils. So these particular coils are 3 millimeters in diameter. If you're using a smaller diameter, obviously you'll use less cotton. If you're using a larger diameter, obviously you're going to be using more cotton. I take it as a cue to feel the resistance of the cotton going through the coil, and that's when I know that it is going to be enough cotton, but it's not going to be too much. What I've found is that I want resistance as I'm pulling the cotton through, but I don't want the coil to be warping. So if the coil is moving around at all, then I know that I've used too much cotton. If the coil's staying still, but I'm still getting a light resistance from the coil as I put the cotton in, then I know I'm using enough cotton and not too much cotton. So I'm going to cut 2 strips that are about 1 centimeter wide. I'm going to take my RDA on top of my device. I always find it's easier to wick while your RDA is attached to something. At this point, make sure to lock your device if you have not already. We've got our piece of cotton, we've got our length of cotton that we've cut, and we're going to just lightly roll one end in between our finger and our thumb. Just lightly roll this cotton, and now I'm going to stick that into the coil and slightly twist it as I'm putting it through the coil. So you'll see here I'm putting it into the coil, twisting it slightly as I put it into the coil. This is where I'm going to grab my either ceramic tweezers would work, or you can use obviously our little thin nose pliers. I'm going to use these guys and just pull my cotton through my coil. There we go. Go back and forth just a little bit. You can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm just moving the cotton back and forth, forging a little path in the cotton for the coil where it's got that kind of memory of the coil, the diameter of the coil, and so it's got that diameter in the cotton now. Not having it packed too tightly allows it to wick very quickly and easily into the coil, giving you good flavor, good vapor production, and no dry hits. That's it, guys. That's the cotton through the coils now, and the cotton is consistent on both sides. There's not too much, there's not too little, there's not one side that is less dense than the other. Both sides, well, all 4 sides at this point are all the same density, which means they will wick at the same rate, which means you won't get one side burning out faster than any of the other sides. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut. Now for the Cosmonaut specifically, I cut along the edge of the RDA. For other RDAs or RTAs or other devices in general, this is going to change. This is going to be specific to whatever device you're using. Cut, cut, chop, chop. Now, the last step that I do, which isn't completely necessary, but it's just a little side thing that I like to do, is just take my tweezers and fluff up the ends of these cotton pads that we cut up. Mainly because oftentimes you'll get these edges that are from your scissors or from a machine that put it together or pressed it or whatever the machines do with cotton. Anyways, you'll get little edges, and those edges or those little creases in the cotton aren't good for juice flow. So I like to fluff everything out, make everything nice and fluffy, and that will help everything saturate into the cotton well. That's pretty much how you wick your coils. That's how you do it, guys. The last little trick that I have here for you is specifically for the Cosmonaut. To get your cotton into a good place on this Cosmonaut, I like to take just the barrel, and I like to kind of troll doll this cotton. This is a method that was used on the Griffin 25 and some other RTAs, but I'm gonna just take all that cotton, put it up towards the top, take my cap and slide it over all of that cotton down in line with the coils. And then you've got a hot mess inside of there that you can clean up with your little tweezers. Now that your top cap is on, you can make sure that all of your cotton is in the appropriate location. I'm just taking this and I'm tucking the cotton into the side of the RDA like that. Last thing I'm going to do is take my juice and juice up my coils. Alright guys, that's how it is done. That is wicking 101. That is how you wick any coil regardless of what device it's on. I'm just trying to show you how to get your cotton consistent throughout your coils so that your flavor's good, your vapor production is good, and so that your juice flow through your cotton is good and that you're not getting any dry hits. Still have it on 35 watts. If you have any questions specific to your device, don't hesitate to ask it down in the comments down below, or you can send us a personal message. So here's the Cosmonaut that I just rewicked. Everything's tasting good to me. It's still tasting a little bit like fresh cotton, but that's to be expected. And it doesn't taste like I did anything wrong. It's not on fire. That is how to keep your cotton consistent throughout your coils. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to Blackhouse's YouTube channel to get more great tutorials like this, as well as informational review videos. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. My name is Alec from Blackhouse Vapor Company, and we'll see you next time.